This Wednesday we'll start a two-part technique lesson about sweeping. We've all heard sweeping done in heavy metal guitar, hard rock guitar, but bassists do it too. And I will show you part one of my two-part approach to doing sweeps. First things first, you need to know that sweeps are patterns designed for the ease of the guitarist. The individual musician. Each musician has a different way to approach sweeping, whether it be a guitarist or a bassist or whoever, that makes sweep easier for them to execute. For me, I like sweeps that are melodic and play to a chord. Chromatic sweeps sound cool, but more times than not, they really don't do anything for me. And the only way I would practically use a sweep is if I was doing it melodically. So here we go. We'll start off creating a sweep for a C minor chord, a C minor 7th chord. A C minor 7th is a C minor triad, which we know is C, E flat, and G with a minor 7th. Now, in the blog post, I say it one way, but I'll explain it a little easier. No matter what, whether it be a minor key or a major key, a major 7th in relation to the note C is B natural. Well, lowering that major 7th 1/2 step makes that 7th minor. So lowering B natural down a half step to B flat, the minor 7th of the note C is B flat. And when we're talking about chords, it doesn't necessarily have to relate to the key signature, but more so to the chord. C minor 7th, you need to have a minor 3rd, and you need to have a minor 7th, which are E flat and B flat. Enough of this confusion. In my pattern that I do it, when I'm looking at a sweep on 3 strings, and I will start with the G, B, and A strings, is splitting up the 4-note chord into 3 separate triads. First triad is essentially an E flat major triad. And because when you look at the 4 notes that make up the chord C minor 7, you got C, E flat, G, and B flat. The last 3 notes make up an E flat major chord, major triad. So that's how I always start off the sweep pattern for C minor 7th. And I have it up here at the 12th and 13th frets. Now, the reason why I don't bar it is so that when I go to the next triad chord shape, it makes it easier for me to go from one shape to the next and back again. And I'll explain why I do it like that next week. So I go from this E flat major chord shape, which is 12, 13, and 13 on the G, B, D, and A strings, to this C minor triad, which is C, 15th fret on the A string, and then 13 and 12 on the D and G string respectively. So go from this E flat major triad to this C minor triad. That is step 1. That is how I break down sweeps on 3 strings. Now I say 3 strings because you can sweep across all 5 strings on this 5-string bass. There are guys who do 6-string sweeps on guitar. I'm sure there are bassists who sweep across all the strings on the messed up wall guitar, but like I said, this is step 1 of a 2-part lesson.